Hello students, so this is the last video of structural organization in animals. In this video, we will learn about the morphology and anatomy of a frog. So frogs belong to phylum Chordata and class Amphibia. They are poikilotherms, that means they are cold-blooded animals. So their temperature, the body temperature changes according to the temperature of the environment. So say if the outer temperature is 10 degrees C, then their temperature will change accordingly. They show a very important characteristic of mimicry. That is, if you see here, you'll find it very difficult to find these frogs because they have merged with the surrounding. This gives them an advantage that they stay hidden from their enemies. This is called camouflaging. So this protective coloration is called mimicry. One more characteristic that we observe is estivation. During summer period, they take shelter in deep burrows. Burrows are these holes which are there. This protects them from extreme summer heat. So this summer sleep is what is called estivation. Then there is hibernation. During winter period, also they take shelter in deep burrows to protect themselves from extreme cold. So this is what we call as hibernation. Now let us study about the morphology of the frogs. So their skin is smooth and slippery because there is mucus present on it. The skin is always moist because of this. If you look at a frog, then the dorsal side will generally be of green color with irregular spots, and the ventral side will be pale yellow. A frog never drinks water, but it absorbs it through its skin. The body of a frog is divisible into the head and the trunk. Neck and tail are absent in a frog. Above the mouth, there is a pair of nostrils which gives it a strong sense of smell. They have bulged eyes which is covered by a nictitating membrane that protects them while they are in water. On either side of eyes, there is a membranous tympanum, that is the ears which receive the sound signals. They have forelimbs and hindlimbs which help the frog to swim, walk and leap, and also help them to enter in their burrows. If you look at the hindlimbs, then they end in 5 digits and they are larger and more muscular than the forelimbs which generally end in 4 digits. Their feet are webbed feet, right? So these webbed feet help them to swim. We see sexual dimorphism in frog. That means that male frogs can be distinguished by the presence of sound-producing vocal sacs and a copulatory pad on the first digit of the forelimbs which are absent in the female frogs. Now let us study the anatomy of the frog. Let us start with the digestive system. It consists of the alimentary canal and digestive glands. The alimentary canal is quite short because they are carnivores. That means they eat other animals. Hence, the length of the intestine is quite less. The mouth opens up into buccal cavity, which leads to the esophagus. This esophagus is short tube which opens into the stomach. Then we have the intestine, and then we have rectum. And then we have cloaca, which is the outside opening. Frogs also have accessory glands like liver that secretes bile. Bile, like in humans, here also is stored in the gallbladder. They also have pancreas, which produce pancreatic juice and other digestive juices. So as we saw earlier, the food is captured by a bilobed tongue. Then digestion starts. There is hydrochloric acid and other gastric juice which are secreted from the walls of the stomach. This food is called chyme and it is passed from the stomach to the first part of the intestine, that is the duodenum. It receives bile from the gallbladder and pancreatic juices from pancreas through common bile duct as we saw earlier. The bile here emulsifies the fat and the pancreatic juices digest carbohydrates and protein. The final digestion takes place in the intestine. The digested food is absorbed by these finger-like projections which are called villi and microvilli. The undigested solid waste moves into rectum and it passes out through the opening, that is cloaca. Frogs respire on land and in water. In water, their skin acts as a cutaneous respiratory system. That is, their skin acts as a respiratory organ. Dissolved oxygen in water is exchanged through diffusion. That is, it moves from high concentration to low concentration. On land, the buccal cavity, skin and lung acts as their respiratory organs. The respiration by lungs is called pulmonary respiration, as that is the scientific name of the lungs. The lungs are a pair of elongated pink-colored sac-like structure which are found in the upper part of thorax. The air enters through nostril into the buccal cavity and then it goes to the lungs where gaseous exchange takes place. During estivation and hibernation, gaseous exchange takes place through skin. Now let us have a look at the circulatory system. So it consists of heart, which is a muscular structure situated on the upper part of the body, in the upper part of the body cavity. Then it has 3 chambers, that is 2 atria and 1 ventricle, and it is covered by a membrane called pericardium. We also have blood vessels in the frog and the blood which is present for transport. If you look at the heart of a frog, then it is a triangular structure called sinus venosus which joins the right atrium. It receives blood through major veins called vena cava. The ventricle which is there, it opens into a sac-like structure called conus arteriosus on the ventral side of the heart. The blood from the heart is carried to all parts of the body by arteries. This is the oxygenated blood which is going everywhere, and then the vein collect the deoxygenated blood from different parts of the body to the venous system. Special venous connections are seen between liver and intestine. Then we have the renal portal system, which has special venous connection between kidney and the lower parts of the body. The blood is composed of plasma and cell. Plasma is the liquid component. The blood cells are RBC, which had exchanged the oxygen, WBC, and platelets. RBCs are nucleated unlike the human RBCs, and they contain red-colored pigment called hemoglobin. The blood carries nutrients, gases, and water to the respiratory sites during circulation. The excretory system consists of kidney, ureters, and urinary bladder. Each kidney is composed of several structural and functional units called nephrons. 2 ureters emerge from the kidney in a male frog. The ureters act as urogenital duct which open in the cloaca. In female, the uterus and the oviduct open separately in cloaca. The thin-walled urinary bladder is present ventral to the rectum, which also opens in the cloaca. Because the frog excretes waste in form of urea, it is called a ureotelic animal. The excretory waste are carried by blood to the kidney where it is separated and excreted. Now let us look at the endocrine system. So endocrine system, as we all know, is a system of endocrine glands which secrete different hormones. So the predominant endocrine glands present are pituitary, the master gland, then we have thyroid, pancreas, whose role we did see in digestion, gonads, and adrenal gland. The nervous system consists of the central nervous system, which includes the brain and the spinal cord. Then we have peripheral nervous system, which includes both the cranial and the spinal nerves. Then we have autonomic nervous system, which consists of the parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system. The brain is divided into three parts: forebrain, midbrain, and the hindbrain. The forebrain includes olfactory lobes, paired cerebral hemispheres, and unpaired diencephalon. The midbrain is characterized by presence of optic lobes. The hindbrain has cerebrum and medulla oblongata. This passes through the foramen magnum and continues into the spinal cord, which is enclosed in the vertebral column. Now let us see the sense organs. It has the sense of touch, taste, smell, vision, and hearing. The eyes, as we saw, are a pair of spherical structures which are found in the orbit. This is the orbit, the region where the eyes are situated. External ear is absent in frogs and it only has a tympanum which can be seen externally. So this is the tympanum. Like in humans, this organ plays a role in hearing as well as in balancing. Let us see the male reproductive system. It consists of vas efferentia. They are 10 to 12 in number that arise from the testes and they enter in the kidneys on their side and open into Bidder's canal. It communicates with the urinogenital duct that comes out of the kidney and opens into the cloaca. The cloaca is a small medium chamber that is used to pass the fecal matter, urine, and sperm to the exterior. The female reproductive organs include a pair of ovaries, which, as you can see, they are situated near the kidney and there is no functional connection of the ovaries with the kidneys. A pair of oviduct arises from the ovaries and it opens into the cloaca separately. Female frogs can lay up to 3,000 ova at a time. Fertilization is external. That means it takes place outside the body and it takes place in water. The development involves a larval stage, that is a tadpole, and then this undergoes metamorphosis. Metamorphosis means it will grow from tadpole to an adult frog. Frogs are useful to us because they can eat insects and they protect the crops. They also have a role in maintaining the ecological balance in the food chain and food web because they do eat other animals and this is how they maintain the balance. I hope you understood this chapter properly. Thank you.